Hi, welcome to our closet. Here's where my clothes live. I know this is weird, but it is 3:12 in the morning, and Ben is rightfully and healthfully sleeping. So I am trying to make as little noise as possible, but I feel like I have to get this out of my system right now, or I'm going to forget what I want to say. So here we are in my closet. I hate personal growth sometimes because you just don't want to. Sometimes you just don't want to have to be the bigger person. Sometimes you want to just have things go your way, to get what you want without having to work so hard for it. But some things are worth working really hard for. So, Ben and I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once tonight. It will screw with your head in the best ways, and it'll make you think. It made me think. I've been doing a lot of thinking since we watched it. I feel like I'm gonna have to watch it at least one more time I think many times to process everything. I love that about good art in whatever form it comes in, whether it's the performing arts or paintings or books or radio stories, whatever it is. Yeah. Art is really anything that makes you curious or that sparks your imagination or provokes thought. That's art. So thank you to everyone involved with Everything Everywhere All at Once. It was excellent. And like a lot of our movies and shows right now, we seem to be on a theme of generational trauma, and that was very heavy in this. And I realized I realize that this might sound ridiculous, but I know a lot of us want this and just can't figure out any way to possibly make it happen. It feels impossible. But I want to save the world. I want to make this a better place. And I think we all have the ability to play our role in that. I don't think it can't. I know it's not any one person who can actually make this a better place for us all. It has to be all of us. We all have to care, and we all have to be willing to get a little uncomfortable and to face some hard truths about ourselves so that we can grow and do better. The growth and doing better is completely impossible without recognizing our faults. So we have to do that. And I have to, if this is my goal, if I want everyone to be able to see each other as fully human, complex, if we want everyone to recognize that we've all been hurt in some ways, that we're all a product of everyone who came before us and all that they went through. Accepting all that means I have to accept I have to accept my family. I have to really forgive my mother. I have to let go of all of my anger towards her. I can still feel hurt and sad about what happened, but I do understand for her why she responded as she did. It was a trauma response. And I know she did everything she knew how to do to take good care of me, to love me well, to support me. She did all of those things. I did feel loved as a kid. I felt like she believed in me. I didn't realize that I didn't feel safe and that was screwing with me until a lot later. And because it was her that I held, and my father, but more her, that I held responsible for not reacting the way I wish she had. I took out all my anger on her, and I never saw how, when I revealed what was going on with my grandfather to her, I didn't understand, obviously, at that time, that I was triggering her in that moment. She was being brought back to her youth when she was being treated terribly by her stepmother. It triggered her. It brought her back to her pain and her learned response to that, her defense mechanism to that, to protect herself, was to shut down, to emotionally shut down, to not let herself feel it, really feel it, and to try to move on from it as quickly as possible. That's how she learned to cope with her abuse. And when she knew I was being hurt, that was her response. That's her learned response. She never had the kind of supportive mother that I did, that instilled enough love in her to give her enough fire to keep fighting for peace in her heart. She just believed that she always was going to be carrying her pain and it was never going to get better, and she just had to accept life as is. I hope this is obvious, but this is all my extrapolations. So, I mean, to get the real story, you'd have to hear it from her. And I hope she shares her story someday, but I know she's not there yet. She still has to go through a lot of healing. I've been thinking a lot about where to draw the line between telling my story and telling other people's stories as they relate to me. Like, I can't tell my story without talking about my mother's trauma. It's pertinent to my story. It's a critical detail. But I also respect that this is her life and her choices to make about what she divulges. So I know I may be screwing this up, this part. But I owe it to myself And I owe it to everyone else who's ever felt forced into silence to speak my full truth. And that's just a part of it. I cannot do anything about that. It's a critical piece of my story because it directly impacted everything in my life. Yeah,